All right, so today we're going to be doing a shoulder workout. And the goal of this shoulder workout, instead of just going for size, is we're going to go for some more of an aesthetic look, right? So we're going to start this off with barbell upright rows. Why do we want to do that? Because while it's not technically considered a compound lift, it does get multiple joints going. You get the elbow, the shoulder joint, and the back. So that would technically be the neck, since we're getting the traps. So that's three joints. Therefore, I'm going to call it a compound lift. I like this particular lift because it hits the full range of motion, or not range of motion, but full range of musculature on the shoulder. Rear delt, middle delt, front delt, as well as the traps, right? So it's a great way to build posture for your upper body. All right. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you what we're doing. We're doing this with a barbell. Now you can do this with an EZ bar if you want to. An EZ bar gives you a more narrow grip, right? So if your shoulder has an impingement or you don't want a heavy weight when you're doing these upright rows, I would recommend an EZ bar. It will have the exact same effect as a standard barbell, and you can go as light or as heavy as you want. What I like to do with the barbell is it gives me a more wide grip. For me, this helps open up and get rid of any shoulder impingements, right? I get a larger width with my shoulders. At the same time, I'm able to squeeze more with the shoulders so that I get a little bit more of a back rotation. So I'm going to do this from an angle so that you can see it. But I like my shoulder width, my hands to be about shoulder width apart. All right. Sometimes I'll go in more narrow. Most of the time I'm going out wide. All right. So as we pull up, we're just bringing it up to the top of the chest. And again, I can go out wider if I wanted to. I could bring it in more narrow. But I'm going, we'll call it neutral grip. And as I'm pulling up, I'm rolling back slightly so that I get those traps and back down. We're not throwing it up and rotating back, right? We're not doing clean and jerks. We're not doing high pulls. We're just doing an upright row. So we're really squeezing and rotating the shoulders backwards. All right, so more like rotating and squeezing the traps, the upper back. And we're not bringing it all the way up to the chin, right? We're not bringing it all the way up here. Just bring it up to a little bit higher than parallel so they get those traps a little bit more in there, squeezing that upper back. Again, I like going out wide. You can go narrow if that's a little bit easier for you, but I recommend neutral grip, pulling up high so that we get the arms a little bit above parallel. Really feel that in the delt here. Don't shrug as you're pulling up. Make sure you're pulling out wide. Rotate a little back so we get those traps. All right, we're going to move on to the next exercise. Next up, we have the bent over rear delt rows or rear delt fly. So this is going to be all about your hand positioning, right? So a fly, we're just kind of reversing it backwards, right? Feeling with the shoulder blades. When we're doing the rear delts, if I was doing a regular fly, I'd be holding in this neutral grip, right? What I want to do is I want to rotate it into a prone grip so the palm is facing downward, and as I'm pulling back, I get more into that rear delt. So I'll take my position here, all right? I'll do it from the side here. And I go down, bent over, supporting myself with my hamstrings, right? So I'm sitting back in my heels, I'm using my glutes and my hamstrings as support. I'm not bent all the way over like this. If I do this and I pull, as it's just indicated right there, it cracks my back. And it really feels like I'm pulling on that thoracic area. I don't want to be doing that. This is an isolation exercise for the shoulders, a little bit in the upper back, a little bit in the shoulder blades, but we're focusing on the rear delts. The other muscles should just be really there for support. Prone grip, okay? Palms are facing backwards. Little bend in the elbow, and as I'm coming up, I'm going straight out to the side. All right, just swinging that out and back, reaching as far back as I can. So when I get to the top, instead of just punching, I'm coming up and really squeezing that muscle so that I get that extra little pull there, right? If I'm just flailing back, I'm not hitting the rear delts very much. So to isolate that, I really have to hold that at the top. Give yourself a 2, maybe 3-second pause if you're feeling it, but that's all that you want to be doing, is feeling it right in the back here. Any more than that, feeling it in the neck, feeling it in the lower back, feeling it in the middle back, it means you're overdoing it. All right, on to the next exercise. Next up, we have the cable face pull. I'm going to be doing this with a band. It's going to be the exact same motion, except you would use the rope handle grips, right? So there's going to be some specifics here that you want to keep in mind as we're doing this, but you can do it with either one, all right? So as you're here, holding onto the band, all right, so the band's pretty loose here. What I want to do is I'm holding my hands with the palms facing forward, fingers are pointing up, and I'm going to grab the band on the sides, right? So I don't know if you can see this, but it's hands here, gripped here, all right? And now it's loose in the middle. Loose in the middle is fine. You know, the tighter you make it, the more the resistance on the back end, but I want it to be pretty even. So my arms are extended forward. I'm okay if there's no tension here. As I'm pulling back, I'm reaching my shoulders behind me. So I'm pulling my hands in the band towards my forehead. And as long as the hands are coming here and the elbows are flaring out wide, it doesn't matter what the angle is, right? I could be higher, I could be lower. It's not directly in front of me. But this is going to be that exercise that gets the shoulder blades, a little bit into the rear delts. You probably feel it since you just did rear delts before this. And also into the upper traps, or the lower traps, lower traps. But this is a great exercise to help bring up, again, working on the posture, opening up that shoulder joint so that you're able to, again, have better posture and feel less pinching and pulling on the chest. So that's your face pull. We got one exercise left. I'll be right back with you. Okay, the last exercise, we're going to hit those abs. And we're going to do a hanging leg raise. And I like the hanging leg raise at the end of a shoulder exercise because it's obviously hanging, but the arms are up. And you're not just releasing your arms and dangling. You want to pull down a little bit. So if I do that, right, if I'm here and I release, but I hold with my shoulders, right, I'm building that isolation in the upper shoulders. They would call it a scap pull-up. You can call it a reverse shrug. There's many names for it. But what you don't want to do is just literally be hanging, right? You don't want your arms all the way up to here so that like you can't breathe or focus or anything like that. You want to make sure you take a wide enough grip that your head can fit through as you're hanging. Make sure that you have a good grip. Let me just take the ring off. And instead of just letting go and dropping, I'm holding, right? And then up. Now I have a really tight back, so I can't quite do it with my legs straight forward. So I'm pulling here with my knees, just as effective. And that's what I'm doing. But so if I were to just hang, that's what it would look like. I talk funny, you know, I kind of look like Chris Farley a little bit. But what we're doing here is making sure that my shoulders are engaged. Slight pull, then I hang, and nothing changes. All right? So make sure you got that shoulders locked in. Great way to get some isolation and some core at the same time. All right, that is it for shoulder day. Next day is going to be back day. It's a great complement to what we did today. So today we did a push. Tomorrow we're doing a pull. I think you're really going to like these exercises. All right, I will check in with you again later. See ya.